Hey True Believer, it's Englentine here. I came across an article that kind of plays along with a to-do that happened a while back at the New York City Comic-Con, and that was when the retailer stood up to Marvel, and now we all got a sense that Marvel didn't give a crap. Now there's an article that came out, it's called the NYCC Insider Sessions powered by ICV2, a demographic snapshot of comic buyers. Who's buying what and where? And this is actually part 2 of a presentation that they did, and I'll be getting to part 1. It's just a little bit out of order because I thought the demographic thing was kind of fun. And it comes from a person named Kristen McLean of the MPD Book Scan. And this is a whole demographic thing. There's another part to it in part 1, which I'll get to, is where they're talking about the fact that the sales to comic book shops have been falling flat while the sales to bookstores have been getting stronger and stronger. And I thought, like I said, it kind of goes with what we were talking about as far as real retailers are concerned and why they were getting angry and why it seems like Marvel's ignoring them. I think we're coming up in the middle of a channel shift, she says. But more than just an established customer buying stuff in the new channel, I actually am seeing a whole demographic coming up behind the consumer that we have been doing business with for the last couple of decades, and that's, to me, is the most exciting thing of all. And considering people like myself are the old demographic, the comic book shopper, it shows why it's so easy for them to brush us off. There's a new demographic. There's new customers out there. So why are we catering to the ones we have when we should be trying to get the ones we don't? And they think that, you know, because we've always shown them before, that we'll still stick around. Okay, I shouldn't word it like that. It's more like that's my perception of what's going on. And now we get to the actual demographics. So it turns out that 63% of comics and graphic novels are purchased by men, 37% by women. 57% of comics and graphic novels are bought by 13 to 29-year-olds. But then it goes a little further. Less than half, 47% of comics sold in comic shops are bought by 13 to 29-year-olds. 72% of purchases in comic shops are by men, with 30 to 50-year-olds the largest age category. 59% of purchases in chain stores are by men, with 13 to 29 as the largest age category for both men and women. 67% of online purchases are by men, and for both men and women, the largest group is 13 to 20-year-olds. So it says right there, 72% of purchases in comic shops are by men, with 30 to 50-year-olds in the largest age category. And this is why they're pursuing places outside of the comic shop, because basically it's aging out. Now, the numbers that cannot be ignored, and it really does seem that they are by Marvel Comics, is the fact that men are the largest demographic of comic and graphic novel purchasers, whether it be comic shops, online, or chain stores. Now, I understand why they want to pull more women into the hobby. However, it really does seem like Marvel Comics themselves are willing to sacrifice the men in order to do it. 67% of online purchases are by men, and for both men and women, the largest age group is 13 to 20. Comic shoppers are more likely to have some college education, 85% of them, and the general comics and graphic novel buying population, 73%. I don't think that's really a factor in buying, you know, okay, hey, I got a college education, I know better to go to the shops. I don't know what they're going with there. Overall, the comics and graphic novel buying public is 69% non-Hispanic white, 12% Latino, 10% African American, and 8% Asian. Just to toss a race in there because you always have to. By contrast, the breakdown in comic shops is 71% white, 13% Latino, 14% black, and 5% Asian. Which, if I'm understanding correctly, means more white and black people of the whole comic book buying populace prefer to go to comic shops when they make their comic book purchase. You know, social. Demented and sad, but social. Now, I admit I am not a money guy, or I'm not really a big numbers guy, but this one sounds like it's the same thing. So if I'm misunderstanding, please by all means tell me in the comment section. So, and that's for any of these. You know, it's always good if I got something wrong. I love hearing what should be the right answer. So, 33% of all comics and graphic novel buyers have incomes below $35,000. In comic shops, 41% have incomes lower than $35,000. Now, to me, that sounds like they're spouting off the same number, because I would assume 33% of all comic graphic novel includes comic shops because of the word all. So I'm wondering if they've got these numbers mixed up, because that would seem to be the only way it worked. Like 33% have incomes lower in the comic shops and 41% of all graphic novel. I'm not sure, but hey guys, like I said, if you can figure this out, or if this is a typo, by all means, please let me know. And now we get to the doozy. We get to the one that really separates the men from the girls, is the purchasing of superhero or manga. Superhero buyers skew heavily male, 78%. Manga buyers are more evenly divided, what? With 56% male and 44% female. Manga buyers are younger, 76% under 30. By contrast, 50% of superhero buyers are under 30. Oh, okay. There you go. Well, this just tells us what a lot of us already know, that manga is what younger people look for, mainly. As a matter of fact, as far as animation, I'm hearing that from my daughter and her friends a lot. You know, they'd rather watch animation than, say, Batman cartoon. Or the anime, I'm sorry. But, so what would be the solution? You got to find a way for superheroes to appeal to the anime and manga lovers? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, you know, 50% of the superhero buyers do skew younger, so there is life there still. Although if comics still want to remain relevant, they're going to have to give manga a bigger presence in their shops. Female superhero buyers, on the other hand, skew younger. Superhero buyers are more likely to have graduated college, of course, perhaps because of manga fans being younger. Manga buyers are more likely to have a household income under $35,000, 43% of manga audience versus 27% of overall comic audience. And here we go, bringing race into it again. The manga buyers, in terms of racial ethnic balance, is more diverse, 59% white, than either the overall comics market, which is 79% white, or superhero comics buyers, which is 69% white. So there you go. And maybe that's also because it skews younger. You know, I mean, that could be a possibility. While the distribution of comics and graphic novels sales via Bookscan looks a lot like the geographic distribution of the population as a whole, with strong sales on the coast, New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco leading the pack, McLean also noted some cities where sales were stronger than would be expected. Portland, Maine, Portland, Oregon, Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, Florida made it. And those led that list, and even two of the top three markets, Los Angeles and San Francisco, performed better than expected for their sizes. So what are we supposed to do with that particular demographic? What are you saying? Your poll is bigger than our poll? Are we supposed to feel inadequate now? Well, anyway, those are the demographics, and from what I read, it really does kind of shine a light on what's going on. Now, not to the point of why is Marvel willing to give up their large audience to go for the smaller audience. It really does seem like they would want to try to keep both. However, it does show that we really are in a state of flux right now as far as a comic book industry, as far as the hobby is concerned. In which direction we're going to go, that, of course, remains to be seen. Either way, you would think a company like Marvel Comics would want to keep the bird in the hand before it went for the two in the bush. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? What do you think about the demographic thing, and what do you think it leads to? Like I said, some people are more better with numbers than I am, and I would love to hear your take on this whole thing. To me, it sounds exactly like I said. It really is a shifting market, and those of us a little aged may find ourselves in the minority and not as desired as customers as we once believed. Not something I like, but something I may have to live with. Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, you want to see more, click like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Also, we do have a Patreon and VIDME, so head on over there, drop $1 in the till. We certainly thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.